All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. We're starting off talking about the PlayStation 5 games lineup for 2024. Sony put out their annual upcoming games video on the PlayStation YouTube channel, this time for games coming out this year. And there was one game in particular that was featured here that I think kind of surprised some people, and that game is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. This is a very highly anticipated game, but I think it's one of these titles that people were maybe expecting, yeah, it could end up releasing in 2025. I think there was a lot of people hoping it would come out this year, but now we actually have what seems to be official confirmation from PlayStation themselves that, yeah, this game is going to be releasing sometime in 2024. Now, what's worth noting here is another game that was featured in this video is Silent Hill 2 Remake. This is a game that we've been talking about for a while now, but we still don't have any official news on it, but it did show up here once again, confirmed for 2024. So it seems like Konami is planning on releasing both of these big remakes sometime this year. If I had to guess, I'm going to say that Silent Hill 2 Remake is going to launch first, and then Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater will launch sometime after. But some other games that showed up in this video that I think are worth mentioning are Stellar Blade. It was once again confirmed to be releasing in 2024. They didn't give a specific release date, but it's a good sign, right? It's letting us know that they're feeling pretty confident it's something we're going to be playing this year. Other games, of course, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, Helldivers 2, to be expected. But another game that I want to specifically mention was featured in this trailer, once again, is Concord. This is such a strange situation because this is a first-party PlayStation Studio developed title that was announced officially last year, but we haven't seen any gameplay of this. It's a new PvP multiplayer first-person shooter from Firewalk Studios, and it's going to be launching on both PS5 and PC. It's going to be a live service game, but as of right now, it's the only actual first-party PlayStation Studio title confirmed for 2024. But they were sure to feature it in this trailer, which lets me know that, yeah, this is a game that no matter what is going to be releasing sometime this year. So, yeah, it'll be interesting when they decide to show off some gameplay for it. But yes, I'm very, very excited about the idea of both Silent Hill 2 Remake and Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater releasing this year. If that is what ends up happening, then man, it's going to be a great year, I think, for Konami if both of these games live up to the hype. But continuing to talk about Silent Hill 2 Remake, it seems as though it is either in the polishing phase or is pretty much good to go, because there's a report here coming from WCCF Tech where it says the Silent Hill 2 Remake is likely content complete and is in its polishing phase as developer Blooper Team is shifting its focus to other projects. The Polish studio shared an update this week that revealed how it is shifting its focus on its 2025 Skybound game project and how it has received funding for an Unreal Engine 5 powered project from the Polish Agency and Enterprise Development on the condition that certain goals are met. As such, new hiring positions have been opened up and resources and employees have been moved to these projects. What this means for Silent Hill 2 Remake, according to this report, is that the game is most likely content complete and that it's in its polishing phase, which is likely being handled by a smaller team. And so, yeah, just wanted to kind of throw this in here, more evidence that this game is pretty much done and good to go, and I absolutely expect to be hearing about it sometime in the coming months. Moving on to the next topic, we have another update regarding the PlayStation 5 Pro. This is being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle. They say a known insider has said that fans should temper their expectations for the PS5 Pro's announcement and release date information at 2024's Consumer Electronics Show, or CES. Sony announced its annual CES presentation, following which speculation arose that the company might showcase the PS5 Pro. Tom Henderson, who first leaked the existence of the PS5 Pro, claims that the upgraded hardware will release in late 2024. Unless Sony's plans change, he expects the company to announce the console sometime in Q3 2024, which is in line with its history of announcements. Neither the PS5 Slim nor the PlayStation Portal, both of which Tom Henderson also leaked accurately, were announced 9 to 10 months in advance. Considering Sony's CES 2024 presentation will take place on January 8th, it's highly unlikely that we'll even get a hint at a PS5 Pro, let alone any specs or release date information. So, yeah, this is something I just wanted to be sure to highlight because I talked about this myself, but now we have Tom Henderson, the person who actually leaked the PS5 Pro in the first place, coming out and saying that if Sony is going to announce this, it's very likely going to happen and he specifically says late Q3, which would be maybe sometime in like September, around that area, which makes a lot of sense. If we go back to the PS4 Pro, Sony didn't announce that until September 2016, and it ended up launching in November of 2016. So it's highly likely that Sony is going to follow that same routine when it comes to announcing a Pro model of the PS5. So just wanted to give you guys that little update. It'll be interesting to hear what else Tom Henderson might have to share with us throughout 2024. He's been a reliable, if not the most reliable source when it comes to giving us some information about Sony's plans, specifically with hardware on the PlayStation side of things. Moving on to the next topic, though, we have a report here from Push Square where it says that Analyst anticipates a tougher year for live service as Sony aims to infiltrate the sector. They say Sony may have placed its bets on live service too late. At least that's what one analyst appears to be alluding to. Speaking with GamesIndustry.biz as part of a 2024 predictions post, analyst Tom Widgman from the Newzoo has hinted he expects a downturn in live service game development as the market reaches saturation point. He explained that he doesn't expect juggernauts like Fortnite and Call of Duty to lose popularity, but pointed out that 60% of playtime is dominated by just 19 games, making it difficult for new titles to break through. Obviously, we've already seen various great attempts like Knockout City shut down prematurely because they couldn't convert enough players to sustain themselves. This puts PlayStation in somewhat of a precarious position, as despite the cancellation of Naughty Dog's online Last of Us game, we know it's bet big on live service behind the scenes. Considering the scale of the investment required to keep these games relevant and the sheer demands they place on fans to keep up with all the latest content, it does feel like it's getting harder to find success. It's not impossible, however. Honkai Star Rail was one of the biggest new releases of 2023 and has kept up with Genshin Impact in terms of income. It's this kind of gold rush that Sony is searching for. Of a dozen or so titles it has in development, it's looking like one single hit can become its cash cow. It certainly has the marketing budget to break through that saturation barrier, but it's going to need a very good product to convince players to drop their established games in favor of something new. And I just thought that this was really interesting, right? Because I do think that there is a lot of truth here. I think that this is a pretty good prediction. The idea of the market reaching its saturation point when it comes to live service, and the idea that Sony is arriving maybe a little bit too late. I don't think it necessarily guarantees that they can't find success or won't find success, but I think it does guarantee that it's going to be even harder for them to do so. And the fact that we've seen them come out and just straight up cancel or put on the shelf, this long in development Last of Us multiplayer game, where I want to reiterate they actually hired the monetization lead of Fortnite. The person who came up with the Fortnite Battle Pass was hired to work on this Last of Us multiplayer game just for him to end up leaving because the game got canceled. I have to imagine that Sony is feeling pretty nervous about this, in the sense that maybe they're beginning to think this is going to be a lot more difficult than we first anticipated. Even looking at what's happening with Bungie. Even earlier in this video, we talked about how the only PlayStation Studio title that's set to release this year is Concord. This is going to be a full-blown live service game, and I have this feeling it's going to be like I don't want to say make or break situation, but it's either going to hit, it's going to land, and people are going to be pleasantly surprised by how good and how competent this game is, and it will, kind of start making the rounds and get good word of mouth, or it's just going to flop and fall flat on its face right out of the gate. I just don't think at this point there's any room for in between when it comes to this level of investment that Sony is making into live service. So yeah, will be very interesting to see how this all plays out going further into the PS5 generation. But we're moving on to the final topic of the video, which talks about the no return mode that is going to be shipping with The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered in just about 2 weeks from now. And this is a mode that I think a lot of people are actually very interested in because it's a roguelike mode set in the Last of Us universe where you get to play as different characters, including Joel, and you get different abilities with each character. And we've never really seen Naughty Dog kind of, do something like this. So because of that, I think a lot of people are going to be upgrading to this remaster to give this a shot. But something I want to mention here is that we have a developer at Naughty Dog, the senior character artist Del Walker. He kind of chimes in here and he says that he doesn't think fans are ready for just how stressful this mode is going to be, and it's not recommended for weak hearts. So he's kind of teasing just the, I guess, level of difficulty that will be on display here with this no return mode. And it's really interesting to see how PlayStation's internal studios have been really embracing the roguelike game mode. We, again, just got that Valhalla DLC, which people loved, and I think Santa Monica clearly knocked it out of the park. Obviously, there's Returnal, which was an entire game that I think really kind of shocked people with just how good it really was. But now we are seeing Naughty Dog kind of get in here for the first time and be like, here's our first roguelike mode, and it sounds like it's going to be pretty challenging. So let me know your thoughts about this. Let me know if you're planning on playing this no return mode. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.